The internet moves fast. Trends appear and disappear in the blink of an eye. But every once in a while, something happens that stops the entire global fandom in its tracks. Something that spreads across timelines, fan forums, and streaming platforms like wildfire. Something that makes millions of fans pause mid-scroll and whisper the same question at the exact same moment. What just happened to Jungkook? But before we dive into this unbelievable story, welcome back to Jungkook Lover, the channel where we uncover the biggest, most shocking, and most emotional moments surrounding BTS and the one and only golden magne, Jungkook. If you love BTS updates and don't want to miss the biggest stories shaking the ARMY universe, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments because today's story might be one of the most mysterious and exciting developments fans have seen in months. Because something extraordinary has just unfolded. Just days before the world begins buzzing about the long-anticipated Arirang comeback stage, Jungkook has suddenly found himself at the center of an entirely different storm. A moment that no one predicted. A moment that began quietly, but exploded across the internet within hours. It started with a simple appearance. A brief moment. A scene that seemed ordinary at first. And yet somehow that single moment on Netflix has now ignited one of the biggest global conversations among ARMY this year. But that wasn't the real shock. The real shock came afterward, because shortly after that appearance aired, something unexpected happened. Something that no one saw coming. Something that instantly elevated Jungkook's presence beyond just music, beyond just performance, and into an entirely new level of global influence. A recognition, a response, a moment of admiration from the public that fans are now calling one of the most emotional turning points of Jungkook's career in recent months. And now the question spreading across the internet is simple. What exactly did Jungkook receive? Why did it make fans around the world emotional? And could this moment be hinting at something much bigger just before the Arirang comeback? To understand why this moment is shaking the internet, we need to go back to the beginning of the story, because the chain of events that led to this viral moment did not begin with an award, a stage, or even a performance. It began with a quiet appearance that no one expected. The day started like any other day in the BTS fandom. Fans were scrolling through updates, sharing edits, and speculating about the upcoming comeback activities that had been teased for weeks. Anticipation was already building. Rumors were circulating. Screenshots and mysterious hints were traveling across social media platforms like tiny sparks waiting to ignite a fire. Then suddenly, someone posted a clip. First, it didn't look like anything extraordinary. Just a short scene. Just a glimpse. But ARMY are known for noticing details faster than anyone else on the internet. Within minutes, fans began realizing something shocking. That voice. That face. That unmistakable aura. Jungkook. The moment recognition spread, timelines erupted. Screenshots flooded Twitter. Fans began replaying the clip again and again, trying to understand what they had just seen. Was that really him? Why was Jungkook appearing here? Was this a cameo? A hidden project? A teaser for something bigger? Speculation began instantly. Some fans believed it was a secret collaboration connected to an upcoming global project. Others wondered if it was simply a playful appearance meant to surprise viewers. But regardless of the explanation, one thing became immediately clear. Jungkook had just captured the attention of an entirely new audience. Not just ARMY, but global viewers. And something about that moment resonated deeply with the public. Clips began spreading across multiple countries. Reaction videos started appearing. View counts climbed rapidly. Comments poured in from people who were seeing Jungkook for the first time and asking the same question fans had asked years ago. Who is he? What followed next made the story even more powerful, because within hours of the appearance going viral, the public reaction started turning into something far more emotional. People weren't just talking about the cameo. They were talking about Jungkook himself, his presence, his charisma, his sincerity. Viewers who had never followed BTS before were suddenly discussing the way Jungkook carries himself on screen, the way his expressions feel natural and genuine, the way his energy seems to fill even the smallest moment with unexpected intensity. And then something remarkable happened. A wave of admiration began forming across communities far outside the traditional K-pop audience. Music fans, film enthusiasts, casual Netflix viewers, even industry commentators. Suddenly, everyone seemed to be noticing the same thing. Jungkook wasn't just a singer appearing briefly on a streaming platform. He was a global star whose presence felt impossible to ignore. But just as the conversation began spreading, the second shock arrived, because shortly after the clip went viral, reports began circulating that Jungkook had received something unexpected following the appearance. At first, fans thought it was just another rumor that ARMY are used to rumors. But this one kept spreading, screenshots began appearing. Comments from viewers multiplied, and suddenly the internet was buzzing with a single phrase: Jungkook deserves this. But what exactly had he received? That question quickly turned into the biggest mystery of the week. Some fans believed it was a special recognition from producers who had noticed the overwhelming audience response. Others speculated that it might be an invitation to participate in a larger global project connected to the streaming platform. The truth, however, was even more emotional than most people expected, because what Jungkook received wasn't just professional recognition, that it was something far more powerful: public love. Overwhelming admiration, an unexpected wave of appreciation from viewers who had never before been part of the BTS fandom. Messages began flooding comment sections across platforms. Viewers wrote about how Jungkook's brief appearance had made them curious enough to search his music. Others admitted they had spent hours watching his performances after seeing that short scene, and many said the same thing. They understood why millions of fans around the world love him. For ARMY, this moment felt deeply personal, because long before the global recognition, long before the record-breaking songs and sold-out stadiums, fans had always believed that Jungkook possessed a rare kind of star power, a presence that could connect with anyone, anywhere, even if they had never heard a BTS song before. Now it seemed the world was discovering that truth again. But just as the excitement reached its peak, another layer of mystery began unfolding, because this entire moment was happening at a very specific time, right before the acclaim comeback, and that timing made fans wonder something even bigger. Was this coincidence? Or was something much larger being quietly set in motion behind the scenes? The acclaim comeback had already been one of the most anticipated moments in BTS history. Teasers had hinted at a concept rooted in cultural pride, powerful choreography, and emotional storytelling. Fans were already preparing for something extraordinary, but now the spotlight on Jungkook had intensified even further. Every move he made was being analyzed, every appearance became headline material, and every new hint about the comeback seemed to generate even more speculation. Some fans believe the Netflix moment might have been part of a subtle promotional strategy, introducing Jungkook to a broader audience just before the comeback stage. Others argue that the appearance was completely unrelated and that the viral reaction simply proves how naturally powerful Jungkook's presence truly is. Either way, one thing is undeniable: the world is watching him, and the closer the acclaim comeback gets, the louder the anticipation becomes. Fans are already imagining the moment when the stage lights turn on and the music begins. They're imagining the choreography, the emotion, the storytelling that BTS has become famous for delivering on the global stage. But perhaps the biggest question surrounding this entire moment isn't about the performance itself. It's about what might happen afterward. Because if a brief appearance on a streaming platform can trigger this level of attention and admiration, what will happen when Jungkook returns to the stage with a full performance? Will the acclaim comeback become another global phenomenon? Will new audiences who discovered Jungkook through Netflix begin following BTS more closely? Or could this moment be hinting at something even bigger waiting just beyond the horizon? Some fans are already whispering about possibilities that once felt impossible: acting opportunities,